Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, this is the FCT High Court, Abuja. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has filed a 550 million naira suit against the Nigerian Medical Council and the 10 medical doctors that conspired and issued a fake medical report against him. And the court ordered that they should examine Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but that they never did. So they went to wrote what they call medical report, and it was that medical report that made the court to refuse Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's bail. So based on that, we have written to them, and they did not show any remorse. So we have filed a suit against them. It's 550 million naira suit against the Nigerian Medical Council and other medical doctors. So that is the position. Thanks and God bless you.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, has stirred the legal waters once again. This time, it's not just about political activism, it's about a massive legal battle he's taken up against the Nigerian Medical Council and 10 doctors. What's the case about? Well, Kanu has filed a lawsuit for a staggering 550 million naira, claiming that a fake medical report was issued against him by the Nigerian Medical Council. But here's the kicker. These doctors didn't even examine him. They didn't check his health or talk to him directly before writing up the report that would have dire consequences on his freedom. That medical report, according to Kanu's lawyers, played a critical role in denying him bail. You can imagine the weight this has on his case, especially considering how important bail is in any legal proceeding. Kanu's freedom was essentially kept in check because of a document that may have been fabricated, and he is now demanding justice for that. Now, think about it. How many other people have faced similar issues but never had the spotlight on them? How many people are being judged and denied basic rights based on false or misleading reports? It's a big problem. And it's not just about Kanu, it's about making sure that no one else goes through the same kind of ordeal. When the court relies on a report from professionals, it's crucial that report is based on facts, not on assumptions or worse, on the deceit. Kanu's lawsuit demands that the Nigerian Medical Council and the doctors involved be held accountable. It's not just about money. It's about setting a precedent that no one should be denied their rights based on lies. The question here is, what happens when the system gets it wrong? And how much responsibility should the Nigerian Medical Council take for this? Let's talk about the medical report for a second. It was issued in Kanu's case under the claim that he needed urgent medical attention. The report stated that Kanu was in poor health and required medical care, which played a major role in the decision to deny him bail. But here's the thing, Kanu was never physically examined. How could the doctors have issued such a critical medical report without ever seeing the patient? That's a serious problem. Now, consider the role that medical professionals play in legal cases. Their reports are meant to be neutral, objective, and based on facts. When those reports are mishandled or misused, it undermines the entire legal system. This isn't just about Kanu. This is about everyone who relies on the medical profession to provide honest, accurate information in legal matters. The Nigerian Medical Council is supposed to ensure that medical professionals adhere to high ethical standards. However, if these doctors were part of a scheme to falsify reports for a political agenda, then it raises serious questions about the integrity of the system. How can we trust the professionals who are supposed to be ensuring our well-being if they're involved in something like this? But it gets even more troubling when you consider the stakes of Kanu's case. Denying him bail based on a fraudulent report wasn't just a mistake. It was a decision that kept a man in jail, possibly for longer than necessary. It's hard not to feel for Kanu in this situation. Imagine being locked away because of something that wasn't even real. It's the kind of thing that could break a person, but it also has the potential to spark change. The question is, will it? Kanu's legal team has come forward with a clear message. The Nigerian Medical Council and these 10 doctors are responsible for a massive injustice, and they should be held accountable. The lawsuit for 550 million naira is just the start. Kanu's lawyers are calling for these individuals to face legal consequences for what they've done. And it's about more than just money. This is about protecting people's rights, and ensuring that something like this never happens again. But let's look at the broader picture. This case doesn't just affect Kanu. It has implications for how the Nigerian justice system operates. If these doctors get away with issuing a fake medical report, what does that say about the system as a whole? What happens when the very professionals who are supposed to be upholding justice are the ones undermining it? There's a deep issue here about trust. Trust in the system, trust in medical professionals, and trust in the legal process itself. Kanu's lawsuit isn't just about him. It's about every Nigerian who might one day find themselves in a similar situation. It's about making sure that our rights are protected and that when we are wronged, there is a path for justice. Now, what happens next? Well, this case is far from over. The Nigerian Medical Council and the doctors involved have a lot to answer for. And Kanu's legal team is determined to make sure that they do. The outcome of this case could send a strong message about accountability in the Nigerian medical and legal systems. If these doctors are found guilty of issuing a fraudulent report, it could set a major precedent for how similar cases are handled in the future. The entire legal and medical communities will be watching closely. How will the Nigerian courts handle this? Will they hold these professionals accountable, or will this just be another case that gets swept under the rug? Kanu's team is ready to fight this battle, and it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. And while we wait to see what happens in court, it's important to think about the broader implications of this case. We are all affected by how the system works, and when the system gets it wrong, it impacts us all. This case isn't just about Kanu, it's about ensuring that the justice system is fair, transparent, and holds people accountable when they fail in their duties. No one, especially not medical professionals, should be allowed to use their position of trust to manipulate or deceive the system. As we move forward in this case, there's another critical question that needs to be addressed: the broader implications for the Nigerian justice system. If the courts rule in favor of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it could open up a floodgate of similar cases in the future. Think about it. If one case like this can uncover how vulnerable our legal processes are to fraudulent reports, it could inspire others who have been wronged to seek legal redress. This is why Kanu's case is more than just about him. It's a potential turning point for ensuring fairness and integrity in the Nigerian system. The medical professionals involved could very well be setting a precedent for how seriously we take the credibility of reports in court, especially when it comes to issues as important as personal freedom. But there's more to it than just the legal fallout. There's a strong cultural component here too. Nigerians have long been skeptical of the legal and political systems, often feeling that power dynamics play a larger role in judicial outcomes than actual fairness. When a case like this gains attention, it reinforces that skepticism, but it also presents an opportunity for change. If the Nigerian Medical Council and the doctors involved are found guilty, it could act as a wake-up call for the entire system. Medical professionals could be more careful about how they approach such critical matters, knowing the consequences of their actions. Now let's take a step back and think about how this will affect the relationship between the medical profession and the legal system moving forward. We all know that in many legal cases, medical reports can either make or break the outcome. Whether it's an issue of health or incarceration, the weight that these documents carry in the courtroom cannot be overstated. If the public loses trust in the integrity of these reports, it could cause widespread consequences across the system. Imagine a future where every medical report is questioned, every diagnosis scrutinized, and every claim challenged. The repercussions of that could lead to delays in justice, confusion, and in the worst case, further miscarriages of justice. For Kanu, his case is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. But for Nigeria, this could represent a watershed moment. The lawsuit he's filed has the potential to redefine how medical reports are handled, how legal professionals approach sensitive cases, and even how the public views the intersection of law and medicine. It's a test of the system's ability to self-correct and hold individuals accountable, no matter their stature or position. As this case unfolds, many Nigerians will be watching closely, waiting to see how the courts respond to these serious allegations. Will they take swift action to ensure that Kanu's rights are respected, or will they allow the influence of powerful figures to determine the outcome? Only time will tell. But what we do know is this: Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not backing down, and neither should the rest of us when it comes to demanding justice. This case is not just about Kanu, it's about all of us. Now, if you're following this story, you already know how big it is, but there's still so much to uncover. So, as we wait for the next updates, let's consider the next steps for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. His legal battle is far from over, and what happens in the coming weeks could change the course of his future, and the future of many others who face the same challenges. I want to know what you think. Do you believe Kanu's lawsuit against the Nigerian Medical Council and the doctors involved will set a precedent for accountability in Nigeria? Do you think the case will change the way the courts handle similar matters in the future? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. As always, make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Your support means a lot, and it helps us bring you the latest, most important news as it happens. Thanks for watching, and we'll keep you updated on every development. Stay tuned.